As I accompanied my father to the welfare institution, a stream of comments flickered before my eyes. It's over. The female antagonist is about to choose the female protagonist. I can't believe it. Can't she just disappear? Clearly, our dear sister could remain here to endure hardships alongside the male lead. If it weren't for the wicked female antagonist, the male and female leads would have long been together. The male lead wouldn't feel inferior, thus avoiding the ongoing lack of security without the antagonist. The female and male leads would suffer together, and with his intelligence, their future would undoubtedly surpass that of the antagonist. I was momentarily taken aback. Is it true? Enduring hardships together? Who wishes to suffer for no reason? My gaze fell upon a frail girl beside me, and I raised my hand to point at her. Father, I want her to be my sister. Upon hearing this, a boy with eyes full of resentment rushed over, pulling the girl behind him as he exclaimed, "Nian Nian won't go with you." At this, the comments erupted with excitement. The male lead has been reborn. Our dear sister is saved. Wonderful, as long as the female lead doesn't leave with the antagonist, it will surely be a sweet romance ahead. It won't be a tale of marital torment. 1. Gazing at the stubborn boy before me, I curled my lips in disdain. Marital torment? Enduring hardships together? Has this world gone awry? I stepped forward and grasped the girl's hand, saying, "Sister, would you like to come home with us? My home is spacious, and there's plenty of delicious food." The girl looked at me timidly, her eyes finally sparkling with a glimmer of hope. Before she could respond, the boy beside her shoved me aside. "Stay away from Nian Nian. Don't think that just because you have some money, you can force her." The director quickly intervened. "Zhou Chongfeng, what are you doing?" Zhou Chongfeng's face was etched with disdain. If Nian Nian is taken away, she'll become spoiled like her. She promised to stay with me in the welfare institution. My father frowned and turned to me, inquiring 1-1, "Do you really like this young lady?" I rubbed my shoulder, still stinging from the shove, and nodded. The director had recommended Lu Nian, and when I first saw her photograph, I was instantly drawn to her. There was an inexplicable aura about her that made one feel the urge to protect her. Yet, ever since stepping into the welfare institution, both the comments and this so-called male lead, Zhou Chongfeng, have constantly thwarted my intentions. But I couldn't comprehend, as anyone truly wished to endure hardships instead of living a good life? I extended my hand, smiling sweetly at Lu Nian. "Sister, would you like to come home with me? If you're willing, please come over, okay?" Lu Nian clenched her fists, and just as she was about to step forward, Zhou Chongfeng yanked her back. "Nian Nian, don't go with her. Those wealthy people will lead you astray." I stomped my foot in frustration. "Why are you like this? I just want to take my sister to live a good life. Yet you keep stopping us. Are you jealous?" Zhou Chongfeng stiffened, glaring at me fiercely. Who would want that at this moment? The director sensed Zhou Chongfeng's immaturity and stepped forward, intending to have a teacher take him away, but he dodged her. Zhou Chongfeng pulled Lu Nian aside, muttering incessantly. The director sighed. "You know, this child used to be quite obedient. I don't know what's come over him in recent days, acting strangely." Upon hearing the director's words, my father glanced at Lu Nian, who was being pulled away. 1-1, how about we choose someone else? There are many brothers and sisters here. I pouted and turned my head away. No, I only like this sister. 2, upon hearing my words, the barrage of comments surged forth with rapidity. How wicked can one be? Surely, she does not intend to drive a wedge between the protagonists. Does she? If the female lead is taken away by her, wouldn't that leave the male lead to suffer alone in the orphanage? With such a clumsy tongue, no one would adopt him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had to wait until university to encounter his sister treasure. All this is the fault of that supporting character. I cast a languid glance at the screen. Truly, what a gathering of scoundrels. Why should anyone suffer alongside him? Moreover, what is so wrong with choosing to walk away with me? The more I pondered, the angrier I became. Clearly, I am the one who has shown kindness to my sister. Why must I be the one blamed? I let out a heavy huff and kicked a pebble beneath my foot. After a considerable time, I sensed someone observing me from beside. I turned to look. A remarkably handsome young man was seated on the adjacent bench. I blinked and quietly edged closer. "Why are you sitting here all alone?" He awkwardly turned his head away, shaking the book in his hand. "I am reading." "That's not true." I tilted my head and leaned closer to him. "You were clearly watching me just now." I turned to the matron and inquired, "Andy, is this young man also from the orphanage?" The matron pressed her lips together. "Indeed, his name is Jiangyu." I flashed a smile at Jiangyu. "Would you like to come home with me?" At that moment, the barrage erupted once more. Wait, how is it that the antagonist and the supporting character meet so early? The supporting character did not see the antagonist when she arrived at the orphanage. These two miscreants are joining forces. Does that mean our female lead and male lead are doomed? Spotting the comments flashing before my eyes sparkled with realization. So, it seems that I will also become acquainted with this young man in the future. I reached out and tugged at his sleeve. How about it? You can think of me as your sister. Jiang Yu feigned indifference, continuing to stare at his book. It's up to you. Hearing this, I took Jiang Yu's hand and walked him over to my father. Dad, I've made up my mind. Jiang Yu will be my brother, and Lu Nian will be my sister. That way, whatever you say, I will listen to, alright? My father nodded helplessly. You, always coming up with ideas. Truly cannot be helped. I chuckled softly, glancing at Lu Nian, who was still conversing with Zhou Chongfeng, and called out, Sister, we are heading home now. Hurry over. 3. Lu Nian turned in surprise to look at me. I beamed at her, extending my hand once more. Hurry. Let us go home together. A smile instantly brightened Lu Nian's face as she rushed over to take my hand. Just as we were about to leave, she turned to Zhou Chongfeng. I believe that Wanwan is not the person you claim she is, so please refrain from speaking of her in that manner in the future. The barrage reacted with discontent. Isn't the male lead only looking out for the female lead? Following the supporting character every day has led him astray. It's hard for a girl to strive so much. Indeed, if she hadn't grown accustomed to a life of luxury, how could the male lead have found pursuing her so troublesome? She deserves the trials ahead. If only she had stood by the male lead all along. I pursed my lips. What nonsense. A bunch of comments that only love the male lead. What wrong has my sister done? When the formalities were completed and we boarded the car, I took hold of my brother and sister's hands. Now I, Suwon, also have siblings. Let us see who dares to mock me in the future. Sitting in the car and observing the somewhat anxious Su Nian, I leaned closer to her. Sister, don't be afraid. It's just me and Dad at home. Tonight I'll have Annie make you some cola chicken wings. They're delicious.
Su Nian, not that.
Softly saying, Sister, I think you are really nice. Not at all like Zhou Chongfeng described. He just said you wouldn't like me and wouldn't take me away. I'm really happy. Thank you for bringing me along. Right? I am a super good person. I will take you home to live a good life. I hummed lightly. I haven't even met him, and he dares to speak ill of me. What a villain. Su Nian tucked my stray hair behind my ear. Actually, the moment I saw you, I liked you very much. You seem so delicate and soft. Zhou Chongfeng is usually quite nice, but today something felt off. It was just strange. Reflecting on the rebirth mentioned in the comments, I couldn't be bothered. Forget about him. You are coming home with me.
From now on,
Suwon also have a brother and sister. In the future, I will protect you both. Glancing at Suyu, who had remained silent, I nudged his arm. Brother, why don't you talk much? Suyu coughed twice, my throat isn't feeling well. I blinked, leaning over the front seat to call out Dad. Hurry and call Uncle Chin to come to the house. My brother's throat isn't well. My father patted my arm. Just sit still. We'll check when we get home. It's nothing. For I nodded, grabbing Suyu's hand and giving it a pat. It's all right, brother. Uncle Chin's injections don't hurt at all. If you're scared, I can cover your eyes, and then you won't be afraid. Suyu's face turned crimson. He muttered, I'm not scared. Upon hearing this, I widened my eyes in surprise. You're not scared? Not even of injections? Su Nian quietly raised her hand. I'm not scared either. I was even more astonished. Huh? You both aren't scared?
Su Yi were not that.
I pouted, feeling a bit disgruntled. Actually, I'm not scared either. After all, Dad said that when you grow up, you won't be scared anymore. They are already grown. When I am as big as they are, I won't be scared either. Upon returning home, Aunt Zhang had already prepared dinner. I pulled my brother and sister to the dining table. Cola chicken wings, braised pig trotters, sweet and sour pork. All my favorites. You must try them. Aunt Zhang cooks so well. My father shook his head in resignation, tousling my hair. What must we do before we eat? I responded loudly. We must wash our hands. With that, I led my brother and sister to wash their hands. At the dinner table, my father served them both generous portions of meat. At home, there's no need to hold back. Feel free to tell Aunt Zhang what you want to eat. From now on, we are all family. Su Nian nodded with tears in her eyes. Su Yu remained silent, and seeing him nearly burying his head in his food, I quickly placed a chicken wing on his plate. Brother, hurry and eat. If you're still hungry, there's more food at home. After finishing dinner, the clothes my father ordered arrived. I pointed at the boxes on the floor. Quick, try them on. My brother and sister deserve to wear the best clothes. Su Nian excitedly touched the dress. Is all of this for me? I nodded emphatically, yes. Yes. They're all yours. My father smiled as he handed 2 cards to Su Yu and Su Nian. I'm not home often. If you want to buy anything, feel free to do so yourself or let Aunt Zhang know. I'll regularly deposit money into the account each month. If it runs low, just text me. No need to save. Seeing the 2 looking a bit shy, I took the cards from my father's hand and handed them over. No need to be polite. We are family now. Su Yu nodded vigorously. That's right. Family. Suddenly, Su Nian hugged me. Sister, thank you so much. I felt somewhat bashful and scratched my head. No need to thank me. No need to thank me. 5. That night, as I prepared for bed, it being my first time having a sister, I insisted that Su Nian sleep with me. Lying in bed, Su Nian sighed contentedly. Wan, do you know? I used to not even have my own bed. I gasped, turning to look at her. Why not? Su Nian bit her lip, as if recalling something unpleasant. Once, my parents did not cherish me. Their affection was solely reserved for my younger brother, and they sent me to my grandparents' house. They, too, believed I was a girl and held no fondness for me. Subsequently, my brother accidentally set our home ablaze, resulting in the loss of both him and my parents. My grandparents, unable to withstand the grief, also passed away. My relatives shunned me, leaving me no choice but to be abandoned at the doorstep of an orphanage. I gently wiped her tears away, assuring her, it's all right, it's all right. I will cherish you from now on. When I heard you chose Su today, I truly thought I had lost all hope. Su Nian sniffled. So when you called my name, I was utterly astonished that someone would steadfastly choose me. I leapt into her embrace, holding her tightly.
Who said that?
From the very beginning, I intended to choose you. No more tears. Those precious droplets are akin to pearls. Noticing her continued tears, I tilted my head and made a myriad of silly faces until I succeeded in making her laugh. Su Nian chuckled. From now on, I will always treat you well. I nodded with a mischievous grin. Upon waking, I found Su Nian had already risen. Descending the stairs, I discovered Su Yu was also up. Seemingly, the only one still indulging in slumber was me. I bounded over to Su Yu's side. Brother, why are you so engrossed in your book? I have a game console. Would you like to play? I'll play after I finish reading. I must study diligently. Su Yu ruffled my hair. This way, I can look after both you and Su Nian in the future. I nodded and fetched a few more books. Then you must study well. Seeing me come downstairs, Su Nian hurried over with freshly made sandwiches. Wan, come and try this. It's my first attempt, but Aunt Zhang taught me, and I just tasted it. It's not bad. I joyfully embraced her. Indeed. Having an older sister is wonderful. Su Yu, you must eat too. I made 3 portions. Su Nian, offer the plate. Su Yu raised an eyebrow, took a sandwich, and bit into it. Not bad. I grinned widely, savoring my sandwich. I had thought our lives would continue in this tranquil manner until one day at school, I spotted Zhou Chongfeng. Along with him, those annoying comments resurfaced. God knows how much effort the male lead exerted to attend this prestigious school. Seeing him study every night pains my heart. I wonder where his sister is now. If she knew how hard he works for her, she would surely be moved to tears. Our male lead is one of the few who entered this school through academic merit. Thankfully, he was reborn and could use his previous knowledge to meet his sister ahead of time. I rolled my eyes. What was there to feel sorry for? Su Yu studied daily at home, and even my sister persevered with her exercises for good grades. Holding my milk tea, I turned and headed toward the library. I detested this person, so clingy. Upon finding Su Yu, I handed him the milk tea. Brother, I have a secret to share. Su Yu leaned in silently. I whispered, I just saw that boy from the orphanage. He seems to be looking for my sister, and I don't like him at all. Su Yu twirled the pen in his hand, pondering for a moment. How did he come here? Isn't the tuition quite expensive? Recalling those comments, I couldn't reveal the full truth. Otherwise, Su Yu might see me as a monster. I hesitated briefly. It seems he got in through exams. Got in through exams? Su Yu frowned, but it's only been a year. I remember his grades weren't impressive, and the A-level exam papers are quite difficult. I nodded, secretly wishing he would guess correctly. Right, I just feel he came to find my sister. We can't let them be together. Su Yu waved his pen. Su Nian wouldn't like him. I asked, puzzled, how do you know? Those comments indicated that my sister might end up with him. Su Yu tapped my forehead lightly. Are you silly? Su Nian is busy studying every day. How could she pay attention to him? Besides, he dislikes you, and Su Nian treasures you. How could she ever like him? I stroked my chin, you're right. My sister currently favored me the most, and since Zhou Chongfeng disliked me, she would never be with him. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense, and I playfully squeezed Suyu's shoulder. Brother, you're so clever.
Indeed.
Reading is beneficial. Suyu shook his head in exasperation. It is useful. Why don't you read? At his words, I immediately released my grip. I read when I want to. Never mind you. I'm off to find my sister. She adores mint green milk tea. However, when I finally located Su Nian, I saw Zhou Chongfeng persistently pulling at her. I rushed over and delivered a swift kick. Are you insane? Why are you clinging to my sister? Zhou Chongfeng fell to the ground, shouting at me, You're the one who's crazy. What gives you the right to hit me? Do you believe I want to call the police on you? Su Nian shielded me behind her. You were the one who started pulling at me. My sister acted to save me. As soon as she spoke, the comments erupted in a frenzy. Has the female lead's brain been swapped? How can she speak to the male lead like that? Could she have been corrupted by the female antagonist? Now she dares to confront the male lead. It's no wonder he seeks a third party. I wouldn't want such a woman either. But the female lead hasn't done anything wrong, being pulled at in public. A girl naturally wants to save face. I widened my eyes. Pulled at? Looking at the wrinkles on Su Nian's uniform, I felt a surge of indignation. I charged at him and delivered 2 more kicks. You disgusting pervert. How dare you pull at my sister's clothes? How can someone like you even exist? By this time, many students had gathered, hearing my outburst. I pointed at Zhou Chongfeng, my fury palpable. Back at the orphanage. You didn't want my sister and me to have a good life together, and now you still wish to harm her. How can you be so wicked? You hardly know her. Why do you insist on pestering my sister? Upon hearing this, the crowd immediately began to criticize Zhou Chongfeng. Su Nian is such a good person. And her grades are excellent. Is he just jealous? Wan, is he upset because you didn't choose him? Bold enough to pull someone's clothes in public. What would he do in private? Yeah, he's quite terrifying. How did he even get into our school? Listening to the sentiments that contrasted sharply with the comments, tears streamed down my face. Reborn, and still so shameless. My sister had done nothing wrong, yet she had to be entangled with such a vile man. Su Nian gently wiped my tears. It's all right. It's just that my clothes got a bit disheveled. I'm not hurt, so why are you crying? I sniffled, angrily pointing at him. He's a bad person. If his life is miserable, he wants to drag my sister down with him. I want to allow it. Before long, Suyu also received the news and rushed over. His expression darkened. Zhou Chongfeng. Su Nian has never wronged you, has she? That's nonsense. Zhou Chongfeng scrambled to his feet, his voice rising uncontrollably. Su Nian promised she would be with me. At this statement, murmurs erupted again. Indeed, it's pure hatred. He's jealous Su Nian can live a good life while he wasn't adopted by Uncle Su. We are all from the same orphanage. How come Suyu is different from him? Let's go, Su Nian. If you want to inform the teacher, we can all testify for you. Our middle school is the best. The individuals within the establishment are not merely bookworms. On the contrary, we engage in numerous courses designed to enhance our collective camaraderie. I am a year younger than my elder siblings, yet they have already forged strong bonds with their classmates. The main issue, however, lies with Zhou Chongfeng, whose actions are utterly outrageous. Regardless of who one is, being tugged at in public is hardly a pleasant experience. It would be one thing if he had simply pulled at my clothing, but what if he had caused damage? Adolescent girls, after all, are particularly concerned with their dignity. I felt an urge to confront him, but was restrained by Suyu. All right, don't act impulsively, he said. Su Nian, noticing my anger, hurriedly tried to calm me down. You just recovered from your cold. Your body is still weak. I glared at Zhou Chongfeng defiantly. If you dare come near my sister again, I swear I'll make you regret it. Zhou Chongfeng merely scoffed. Su Wan, you remain unchanged. If you were one of us from the orphanage, would you still possess such confidence? Su Nian, it was you who promised to accompany me. You are the one who has gone back on your word, not I. You were the one who made the mistake. Su Nian was taken aback. Then why did you say you wanted to come to the Su family with me that day at the orphanage? Zhou Chongfeng's pupils dilated in shock. Who said that? Su Nian furrowed her brows slightly. You pulled me aside when you heard Wan speaking with Suyu, and you said, if only I could leave with you. This revelation left even the barrage of comments in bewilderment. When did this happen?
I was focused on the supporting character at that time.
No way. The male lead can't truly be jealous of the female lead, right?
Impossible.
The female lead has been pursuing him all along, and even when he sought a mistress, she didn't leave him. Who knows, perhaps she's just fabricating this whole story. Suyu raised an eyebrow. Zhou Chongfeng, I assume you have yet to be adopted. How did you manage to enroll in Class A? I earned my place through my own merit. Zhou Chongfeng did not respond to Su Nian but instead directed his gaze at Suyu. Do you really think your grades are exceptional? In my presence, you are insignificant. Suyu ignored him and simply led Su Nian and me away. Upon returning to the library, Suyu engaged in conversation with Su Nian while I sat alone, seething with anger. Su Nian offered me a cup of milk tea with a straw. All right, don't be upset. I'll make sure to avoid him in the future. He truly startled me when he suddenly lunged at me. I thought someone was trying to rob me. I huffed, taking several large gulps. That person is so irritating. Inexplicably fixated on me and persistently bothering you. Suyu's eyes also revealed a hint of dissatisfaction. Su Nian, were you ever close with Zhou Chongfeng? Su Nian shook her head. No, I've only been at the orphanage for 3 months. He approached me just a few days before Wan and Dad visited the orphanage, asking if I wanted to stay with him. I didn't respond, and later, during a group activity, he asked me several times. I grew impatient and finally agreed.
Sui we pauset momentia.
You should still be cautious of him. I find him rather unsettling. He doesn't behave like someone his age should. I was taken aback. How did he deduce that?
Su Nian not dead.
From now on, after class, I will stick with you to avoid him as much as possible. Suyu acknowledged her suggestion. I leaned closer to Suyu and whispered, Brother, how did you figure it out? Just a hunch, Suyu replied, picking up a pen to jot down notes in a book. His behavior is rather peculiar. I remained silent for quite some time until the lunch break concluded, and we returned to class. After school, I was already in the car waiting when Suyu strolled over with Su Nian, who appeared rather distressed. Upon arriving home, I learned that Zhou Chongfeng had actually transferred to their class. It was noteworthy that they were in the elite class. How could Zhou Chongfeng possibly be among them? I gnawed on a piece of crispy bone, my appetite diminishing. Why can't he just disappear?
Sui we chukka.
Originally, he wanted to sit with Su Nian, but many in the class have heard about his obsession with her and don't seem to like him at all. It made sense. They had already been interacting with their classmates for a year. Moreover, Su Nian was such a nice person. Our classmates envied me for having a wonderful brother and sister.
Su Nian sai.
Why does he insist on fixating on me? Can't he choose someone else? I haven't he wronged him. I clicked my tongue. Exactly. Does he think my sister is easy to manipulate? Suyu nodded. I suspect that's the case. The thought of the comments supporting Zhou Chongfeng only fueled my irritation. That evening, I stealthily crept into Suyu's room. Fresh from his shower, he was startled when I appeared. He quickly retreated into the wardrobe to change before emerging. I pulled him down to sit on a chair, earnestly stating, Brother, I have a huge secret to share. Do you want to hear it? Suyu hesitated briefly before nodding. I ensured the door was locked before revealing my ability to see the comments. For reasons unknown, I felt certain Suyu would side with me. We must protect our sister and ensure that he cannot harm her. Although Suyu appeared somewhat incredulous, he did not question me. What else did the comments say? I pondered for a moment. It seems they mentioned that our sister would end up with Zhou Chongfeng, and that he would seek a mistress to provoke her. Suyu paused, silently repeating my words to himself. Do you know who the mistress is? Since he has been reincarnated, might he use this girl to provoke Su Nian? I shook my head. I have no idea. They didn't specify. Suyu contemplated for a moment before suggesting, let us observe for now. Su Nian certainly doesn't like him, so let us see what he can come up with. I agreed, and after a conversation, I quietly slipped back to my room. Lying on my bed, I felt quite clever. Initially, I was alone. But now I had Suyu by my side. His intelligence would undoubtedly lead to a solution. Over the following days, I consistently reminded Su Nian to keep her distance from Zhou Chongfeng. I thought that as long as she avoided him, nothing too serious would occur. However, during a cultural performance, Suyu suddenly informed me that Su Nian had been injured. Instinctively, I thought of Zhou Chongfeng. Yet Suyu pulled me aside, saying, that girl must have shown up. I gasped, glancing at the girl lying on a hospital bed, mirroring Su Nian's condition. Suyu explained that Su Nian was supposed to perform with her teammates after changing her outfit, but someone had stuffed glass shards into her shoes. Just as she was about to cry for help, Zhou Chongfeng had appeared, pushing Su Nian down and accusing her of bullying Song Han. Upon hearing this, I stepped inside to investigate. Song Han's foot was also injured, but no matter how one looked at it, Su Nian was clearly in worse shape. Both had shards hidden in their shoes. Our father soon arrived, his brow furrowed in concern as he looked at Su Nian's bloodied feet. Due to being pushed by Zhou Chongfeng, the glass shards had penetrated deeply into Su Nian's foot, requiring meticulous extraction, while Song Han's injury was merely a superficial cut. I sat beside her and inquired, "Sister, how did you realize there were shards in your shoes?" Song Han replied, somewhat irked, "I have no idea which scoundrel did this. The moment I put on my shoes, I sensed something was off. Others were urging us to get on stage, and after my foot was cut, I immediately informed the teacher. Then a boy rushed out, claiming he knew who was responsible. When we entered, we found Su Nian in the same predicament, and just as I was about to warn her, he pushed her down." Su Yu narrowed his eyes. "The backstage makeup room must have surveillance, right?" Song Han sighed. "A few days ago, it broke down. Otherwise, I would have gone to see her sooner. I genuinely suspected Su Nian at first, but her injuries are so severe that it's evident to any discerning eye that she couldn't have done it. Besides, we have a pretty good relationship, and she has no reason to harm me." I nodded emphatically. This sister seemed quite amiable and remarkably intelligent. Suddenly, Su seemed to recall something, and he promptly turned and exited the room. Since Su Nian was still tending to her wounds, I could not visit her and had to inquire further from Song Han. "Sister, do you know Zhou Chongfeng?" Song Han rubbed her temples. "Didn't he just transfer here?" "He is rather peculiar. I don't even know him. Yet he somehow knows what I love to eat." I nodded in agreement. "Rest assured, my brother is quite clever. He will surely uncover who harmed you. In truth, my injuries are not severe. It's just a cut that bled. I wonder how Su Nian is faring." I pursed my lips and bade farewell to Song Han before leaving. Outside, my father appeared somewhat anxious. How could such a thing happen? My daughter can get injured at school. This time it's her foot. What will happen next? This child adores playing the piano. I hurried over to reassure my father. "Dad, please don't worry." My brother just rushed out. He probably thought of something. "Let us wait a moment." The teacher, standing nearby, profusely apologized. After all, the clothes and shoes were provided by the school, and no one could have anticipated that someone would intend to harm another. Before long, Su Yu returned with someone in tow. He whispered something to the teacher, whose expression changed dramatically, prompting her to leave immediately. I leaned in and asked, "Was it Zhou Chongfeng?" "Yes." Upon receiving confirmation, I stomped my foot in indignation. I knew it was him. My father still looked puzzled, but as Su Yu recounted the events that had transpired, he began to understand. When Su Nian was brought back to the ward after attending to her wounds, her complexion was still somewhat pale. My father gently stroked her damp hair, expressing concern. "You've suffered." Although my father was not often home, he was well aware of how well my older siblings treated me, and he naturally regarded them as his own children. Su Nian shook her head and forced a smile from my father. "Dad, I'm fine." I sat beside her. "It was Zhou Chongfeng. He must be trying to sow discord between you and Sister Song Han." Su Nian gritted her teeth. "He is truly a vile person." I nodded vigorously. It was indeed the case. What a farce, calling him a male lead. Such a person could never deserve that title. Even after being reborn, he remained foolish, both malicious and dim-witted. Soon, Su Yu, accompanied by the teacher, located Zhou Chongfeng, who was behaving as if nothing had happened. It seemed Zhou had realized his scheme had been exposed, as he hardly denied it. The teacher confronted him about his actions, but he remained silent. Since this incident only resulted in injuries and Zhou was still a minor, he faced no severe repercussions. His only punishment was expulsion from school. After all, a person who poses a threat to student safety cannot be tolerated, regardless of their academic prowess. With Zhou Chongfeng out of the picture, our lives returned to their previous state. We thought we would never see him again. However, unexpectedly, we encountered him again while working at our family company after graduation. I was met with a barrage of disdainful comments. The female lead must be regretting her choices upon seeing how excellent the male lead has become. The male lead always manages to make a comeback. Being expelled means nothing. With his memories from his past life, he could easily trample over the supporting character's family. If it weren't for the female lead, he would have acted long ago. Are we finally on the brink of a sweet romance? I've waited 8 years for this. I noticed that whenever Zhou Chongfeng and Su Nian crossed paths, these comments would appear. However, it was apparent that they only favored Zhou. 8 years is a long time, enough for Zhou Chongfeng to amass wealth. But we were not to be underestimated. I had already devised a plan with Su Yu, as Zhou Chongfeng was a tenacious specter, who could guarantee he would never reappear. Zhou Chongfeng provocatively stood before me. Su Wan, after all these years, you remain unchanged. And you as well, I replied, shaking my phone. This time, there are more collaborators than just your company. Zhou Chongfeng's expression shifted. I adeptly treated him as if he were invisible, engrossed in my phone. After all, it was of no concern to me. Su Yu and Su Nian would handle the company management while I merely collected my salary. As long as I did not engage in any wrongdoing, the family's resources would suffice for a lifetime. If Zhou Chongfeng had not schemed against his classmates, he would not have entered society so early. Yet, I was taken aback that, despite his excellent grades, he chose not to pursue further studies and instead opted for a company on the brink of bankruptcy. Clearly, he was doing well for himself, likely holding a position of significant authority. Su Nian soon approached with her team. When she noticed Zhou Chongfeng, there was a fleeting moment of surprise. Zhou Chongfeng approached her confidently. Nian Nian, I am no longer the same as before. Su Nian nodded. And so? She gestured to her team and continued walking without pausing. I stood up to follow her out of the conference room. Aren't we here to discuss collaboration? Su Nian lightly shook her phone. So you completed the discussions long ago. I merely came to take a look. Zhou Chongfeng's proposal is indeed commendable. But the implementation would be too challenging. It's unnecessary. I responded with an "oh" and waved goodbye to Zhou Chongfeng. Su Nian then playfully flicked my forehead. You kept this for me for so long. I gasped in surprise. Su Nian led me back to the office and crossed her arms as she sat in her chair. I grinned sheepishly. Sister, it wasn't he me. It was Su Yu. He doesn't he speak the truth. Su Nian rolled her eyes. Come on. It wasn't he him who told me. I was taken aback once more. Then who did? Zhou Chongfeng? Su Nian narrowed her eyes, about to flick me again. But I dodged. If he can be reborn, why can't I? I exclaimed excitedly, wrapping my arm around Su Nian's. When did this happen? Su Nian did not hesitate. About half a month ago. Upon hearing that she had regained her memories, a multitude of questions flooded my mind. Then why do you know he is involved with a mistress yet still follow him? Do you really like him? At this, Su Nian appeared bewildered. She pointed to herself. When have I ever been with him? I haven't. In my previous life, you only took me away, not Su Yu. Later, when I entered university, I encountered him and Zhou Chongfeng again. I thought Zhou Chongfeng was quite clever, so I brought him into the company. You. Su Nian poked my face, just like now. You fell for Su Yu's looks, and when Zhou Chongfeng pursued me, I didn't agree. He then turned to pursue Song Han, who has always been at odds with me. They often flaunted their relationship in front of me. Who said I was with Zhou Chongfeng. I frowned in disbelief. But the comments all say otherwise. What comments? Su Nian inquired. I quickly covered my mouth, realizing I had let something slip. Seeing my reaction, Su Nian immediately began to tickle me. Spill. As I squirmed, I recounted everything. Su Nian scratched her head. Impossible. I lived until I was 73 in my past life and never married. How could I have been with Zhou Chongfeng? I wouldn't even look at him. You must have seen it wrong, right? I blinked. Surely not. Reflecting on the fact that Su Nian had already expressed her disdain for Zhou Chongfeng, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. Tentatively, I leaned closer to Su Nian and inquired, Sister, how long do you think I will live? You? Su Nian assessed me with a scrutinizing glance, seemed to possess quite the resilience. When I pass, you shall still be here. You, my dear, appear frail and petite, yet you managed to bear 3 children, nearly exhausting me in the process. I reckon I shall only live to 73, and it's all your fault. I was taken aback, my eyes widening in shock. Me? 3 children? Impossible. With whom? With Su Yu, of course. Su Nian exclaimed, playfully tapping my head. Have you lost your senses? Who else could it be? I pouted slightly, feeling embarrassed, and turned my head away. All right, enough about me. What do you intend to do about Zhou Chongfeng? He will undoubtedly continue to pursue us. Su Nian rolled her eyes. Pursue? Nonsense. Su Yu has discovered that he possesses numerous properties, and he hasn't earned that kind of money over the years. You should focus on yourself. I don't need your concern. I scoffed. Let us not forget to thank me. If it weren't for my cleverness, you might very well have been left at that orphanage by Zhou Chongfeng. Yes, I am ever so grateful, Su Nian replied with a resigned shake of her head. Otherwise, why would I willingly toil each day to support you? I thought to myself, goodness, I am quite the benevolent soul. Just as I was about to rise and take a leisurely stroll, Su Yu suddenly entered the room. Raising an eyebrow in my direction, Suyu remarked, 3? Soon-Yen nodded with a smile, and both of their gazes landed upon me. I instinctively touched my abdomen and shouted in a fluster, 3? Nonsense. There's nothing there. Suyu and I are as pure as the driven snow.
Sunian sekop, utterly uses.
I'm leaving. The space is yours. I protested. But Soon-Yen didn't even glance back. Suyu approached me and enveloped me in his embrace. R11 has always been a great person, even in the past. Upon hearing his praise, I felt a slight sense of elation. Of course. Suyu chuckled softly beside my ear and then spoke slowly. When does this great person plan to marry me? Father already knows and has no intention of stopping it, so do you wish to be with me? Embarrassed. I abruptly pushed Suyu away and, meeting his gaze, feigned indifference as I turned my head. It's up to you. After all, this was merely following the natural course of events. We were destined to be together. Indeed, everything was perfectly aligned. Thus, our tale concludes. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and giving a like to support. Until we meet again in the next story.